tough through most of the middle stages. Where did you see the game get away on you?
Yeah, I thought our effort was really good all night. Our execution down the stretch, not so good. 23-7 in the last 5 minutes, and just not taking care of the ball, making some key decisions. We don't make a three in the second half. We talked about the possession game, and 5 for 25 from 3, 14 from 20 from the foul line, 14 turnovers, and give up 10 offensive boards. The math tells you you're not going to win a game. Like, we have to be better. Like, it's just not, like, our execution down the stretch. Like, working new guys in, there's a little bit of a learning curve there, but, we talked about this and it was identified early, and we have to be better.
So many differences between now and your round 4 loss to the Hawks, but one similarity is their dominance on the rebound on boards. Is that just a mindset effort thing, or is it the JaVale McGee factor? What's the play there?
No, we're last in the league in rebounding. It's not just the Hawks. Letting QJ Peterson grab offensive rebounds. He's the smallest guy on the floor. Put a body on somebody, hit somebody, get physical. Like, we're not doing that. We stand around and watch.
So attitude.
Yeah. Yes. Like, the guys, like, they know it. We talk about it. Have to go out and execute.
What did you make of Javon's sort of first run out today since their day?
Solid. But, he's guarding QJ Peterson. He's running around on him, getting rebounds. But, hadn't practiced a ton, was sick. We're still kind of working him in, working Terry in. But I thought he played with some poise, and, he was able to get to his spots. I think for us, just continuing to have more clarity on what we're trying to do, like in certain matchups, in certain situations, if we change coverage up, just having everybody on the same page.
Can you give us an update on Dakota, because he sort of walked out straight to the locker room?
Yeah, I don't even know. It's something with his shoulder, so I'll get an update later. He just went to get an X-ray and get checked out.
What did you make of Terry's game? Because it felt like, relative to the last game, he's finding his groove, looking a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, no, I think comfort is a big thing. Like, we talk about imports coming into this league, and it sometimes takes a little while for them to get a flow, and that's usually at the start of the season. So when you come in the middle of the season, and certainly not as a guard, where the ball's just in your hands and you can go make plays. But I thought his aggressiveness, to seek matchups that were favorable for him was positive. But he's also got to, understand the ball's got to move. And, when we move the ball from strong to weak, we get what we want and get good looks. And then we just got to knock down shots. But, overall pleased, certainly just, again, like, I'm not questioning the effort tonight. The effort was there across the board. It's just the execution.
What did you make of the sort of tale of two halves? First half, offense seemed to flow, you were knocking down shots, and then second half, you guys couldn't stop in the transition, couldn't really do much offensively.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, tale of two halves. It obviously always helps when you're making shots. You just hope to make more shots in the second half. But yeah, like Stu said, I think there's a lot of detail, oriented things that we can get better at. I think we're also gelling as a team. Like he said, we're bringing guys in, and we're just trying to find our groove a little bit.
Where do you feel you are personally in your sort of journey back to 100%?
Yeah, I feel good out there, but I feel a bit of a step behind, I guess. It's hard to replicate that game speed and those game reps. And so, yeah, I just think I'll get better and better as the season goes on and the reps get up there.
I do want to shout out his 150th game in the NBL tonight, and this guy's a really big part of who we are culturally, as much as what we do on the floor. He's a standard setter for us, and, he missed a lot of time, at the start of this year, and, it was hard on the group and it was hard on me because I lean on him a lot. He plays really, really hard, and he understands the game plan, and, what he doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. So I just want to make sure I acknowledge that. Same thing with Tyrell. It's his 150th game as well. So, those are big milestones for these guys, and, they should be proud of that.
The team that's changed and now building against you, how determined and passionate are you about staying with them for the long term and during this fight?
Oh, no. I mean, these guys know, like, I love them. I care about them. I want nothing but success for, for the organization, for the players. And, we're feeling it. Like, we're together as a group. Like, I will say there's, culturally, like, we're intact. I don't think anyone would say this is an organization that's in dysfunction. We need to be better. We've had a lot of challenges. And, our execution right now is like we're not able to put together 40 minutes. We've shown points during games where we know our good is good enough to play with anybody, but you have to do that sustainable for 40 minutes, and that's our challenge right now.
I'll go with Matt. You said your 150th game tonight, and I know it's difficult to put you on the spot right now after a game and after a loss, but when you reflect on this journey, are you pretty proud that you've got to a mark like this, and how hard you've had to work to play 150 games in this league?
Absolutely, man. Like looking back, I started playing basketball at 14, and Rashad Tucker in Adelaide, he put a ball in my hands and just said, work as hard as you possibly can, and that's what I did. And it's been an honour, it's been a blessing to be able to get to 150 games. And after sitting out the best part of 2 years, one thing I've learned is to never take it for granted. And being back around my teammates and coaching staff, the high performance staff, and just the energy of being back in that team setting. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Just touching on that, how tough was it in the second game of the season after missing all of last season to then hurt your ankle and have to miss the amount of time you did? And because of that, how grateful are you to be back out there playing now?
Like I said, super grateful. The difference was I had a date on the return, and so I had that silver lining. It wasn't just the rest of the season you're out. It was you'll be back on this game or back on this date, and so kind of was a bit more optimistic, I guess you could say, and back at it now.
And you'll be playing a home game now on Sunday.
Oh yeah, first time playing at BEC, so very excited.
And just like for you, Stu, looking to Sunday's game, I mean, it's a chance to play well at home because you haven't been doing that well, so far this season, and I'm sure you're looking forward to it. It's been almost a month now since you've been back home.
Yeah, no, we're excited to get in front of our family and friends and members, and sponsors. Like, they show great support, to the club, and Perth is a formidable opponent. They're playing good basketball. We're looking forward to the challenge of getting back. We'll review this game and move on to Perth quickly, and we'll get after it.
Thanks, guys.
One more quick one. At the end of the game, obviously percentage matters, and you need to get as many points as possible. What did you make of sort of 2 timeouts, 2 seconds to go from there?
Yeah, no issue. I mean, JT and I talked. Like, we have a good relationship, and the percentage points, we don't make the rules. I don't agree with the reasoning behind percentage points compared to head-to-head matchups, and I'm not going to go on a rant about that now, but no, I understand why he's doing it. And there are teams that over the years have missed the playoffs because of like a point or two. So if that's the rules, you play every point out.